YouTube. Welcome to our first episode of Sisters. If you're new to our channel, don't forget to click like and subscribe down below. Our channel is designed to empower women with us sharing our stories through our experiences and also sharing our opinions on current events. Joining me today are my wonderful sisters. We've been best friends for about 2 decades, I believe. We met in junior high school and we have since transitioned from childhood to womanhood, and it's a beautiful story and we would love to share that with all of you. We're five beautiful Guyanese women and we'll be discussing tourism, marriages, sex, you name it. We'll be talking about it. It's just like a good girl chat. I'm Shamisa Dale. Joining me is Chanelly Johnson, who is a trained teacher. She is the head of the English department at her high school. Then we have Latoya Nux Thompson, who is a registered nurse. Svetlana Abrams. I'm sorry, Abrams. Don't kill me. I'm sorry, that's her marital name. Nonetheless, she is an award winning journalist. And then we have Colleen Rogers, who is also a trained teacher and she teaches high school. And again, I'm Shamisa Dale, budding attorney at law, and also the CEO and founder of SDA Legal Research Clinic. Now, as mentioned, we'll be discussing topics, and today's topics is worst breakups. We've all had a few of them. We'll be sharing our worst breakups with you and what we've learned from those breakups. So, I'm going to throw it over to my sister, Colleen, who's going to start us off with her worst breakup story and tell us a little bit about what she's learned from that experience. Hey, C, what's up?
Hey babes, what's up? Um, so my worst breakup landed me in the newspapers.
Really?
Really.
That's a celebrity breakup.
But of course, the relationship started. It was breathtaking. You don't want to go anywhere without this man. You all up in this man face, this man all up in your face. Baby, I love you. I miss you. I can't wait. He was the one.
He was your August.
Right? But it started out smoothly. And of course, you have plans towards the future, making babies, getting married and so on, meet mommy, meet daddy, meet everybody and so on. So you're thinking that, you know what? This is my relationship. It's not going anywhere. There isn't any other that is coming after. Lo and behold, my boy started to get possessive. So,
And then there are those.
so he felt like I was more or less his property.
Wow.
Yeah. And it started to tell on my work. It started to tell on me as an individual because it came out from the home and it extended outside. So persons outside would have been able to see that there was an issue with this relationship because of his possessiveness. I could remember my girlfriends came over and they were like, I think it was my birthday. And everybody in the house, Sivalana, Toya, Chanelly, I think their better halves, they were over at the house too. So of course it's my birthday, we're the host. There is my man, then. Colleen, I need to speak with you. So he's in the room, we're outside. I need to speak with you. Remember, we're the host. The people are at our house. Gone in the room now. I'm in the room close to like an hour or change.
I remember the story.
And Chanelly come hitting on the door. Colleen,
You all right?
you all right?
No, is she?
Right? I ain't really saying anything because I'm already upset. Then, of course, Sivalana gonna come at the door. And Sivalana ain't got no manners.
Mother Sally.
So there is Mother Sally at the door, Sivalana at the door. And you may know her as Svetlana, but I say Sivalana. So there she at the door. Colleen, what happened? People outside, I think so. He now got angry and he came and he opened the door and he's like, right now we're making babies.
I remember.
Yeah. Right?
Rihanna was
So
I'm the good one.
I didn't
Always
ready for
good one.
surgery,
I didn't
so-
go to the door.
she was. And there I am in the room and I'm so ashamed. And then I'm going to try to be as quickly as possible. And then there was this other incident we went to, I think we drove and we went to, I put up the picture when was your birthday the other day. When we took out the picture with Chanel posing, when we went to this
Oh, Guy Expo.
Guy Expo, we went to
Yeah.
Guy Expo. And I was sharing my experiences with my girlfriend on my way home because I was at the Guy Expo and he calling, he wants to see what's going on, where you're there, video
Every 2
chat, and
seconds.
every 2 seconds.
There's a stalker.
And when I got home, we were parked in front of the yard. And there we were, I was telling them what was going on and so on. He came outside to the car, hit on the car window. I'd upstairs waiting on you. Long. Come now, we go long.
Long no way would they get rid of him.
So
You know,
there
right?
is the stupid Colleen, got up out the car and went upstairs.
She was a good little girl.
Trying
then.
to avoid the little embarrassment, eh? And, you know, from then to the most recent one, that was in 2018, 2007.
Yeah, they're about.
2017, that was like when it all came crushing down. And then, you know, we had our place that we were renting at the time, and, you know, we were building life and so on. But it got worse. And I'm saying to persons, if it is that you're seeing these signs at the early age,
Don't wait around.
don't waste time. Don't say, okay, he can change.
change. You ain't
Give him
God.
another opportunity.
I upset him, man. This is why he behaving. So no, that
Right,
don't work.
right. Because we as female, we make it seem as if we're the problem and we can fix them. Right? Okay,
We ain't
you know
got
what? Let give you another chance, man, and see what gonna happen. Don't give you another chance. Get up and keep moving. Because it's not going to get any better. And I can tell you that based on personal experiences that I've had with this young man. And, you know, it has gotten so gross that he came at my workplace. I think at that time, I was already out of the relationship. So there is where me and Svetlana wasn't talking because she was like, okay,
That is it.
So,
Nikki.
he knocking you and you so choose to sit down and take it. Well, I come in. So when she got fully involved in what was
I was
taking
in-
place.
Wait a minute, Colleen,
I-
what do you mean he was knocking you?
He was hitting me.
He was violent.
He was being violent. He was hitting me, right? And I thought that it was okay because at that point, I'm fighting back. We're fighting, so I'm thinking that, okay, we're having a fight.
It's normal.
But within the fight, he's hitting me, like really hitting me to mark my skin. So I'm thinking, oh, we just had a fight because both we fighting. Of course, manpower gonna overpower me, right? So I'm thinking that, you know, it's normal in relationships, persons fight and so on. Because, of course, they don't want to wake up and hear, okay, Colleen in the newspaper, Svetlana got to write about me
and
in the
he
papers.
used to tell us. He
and
used
so
to
on.
always tell us
Yes.
that he can serve you to us in a body bag.
Yes.
So we were very upset
He was a
about
terrible
that.
individual.
He
I
was
think
like
still
that.
is.
And, you know, at that point, when I was able to come out of that relationship, he turned up at my workplace. So there I am sitting in the classroom. My phone is on the desk. I think it was around exam time. So we were doing little revisions and so on. We weren't doing much schoolwork. So the students were there. I was sitting there in the classroom. There was not a teacher in the class, but she left the classroom. So he came into the classroom. I need to speak with you. I said, I'm not leaving the classroom. So I'm trying to be as modest as possible because there are my students. And he picked up my phone and he walked out of the school. Of course, I'm not going to jump on the man back and thing because my students are there. I'm at my workplace.
On anybody else, you probably would have tried, but because you know this man is not no easy man, he's a terror.
So I picked up my bag and I rushed out of the school. I didn't even go to the head teacher, nobody. I just rushed to the school. There is the man gone because he had a vehicle. So the man gone, but the business, I there like, oh Lord, my phone. Then I went, made a complaint at the station and so on. At that point, based on how everything was happening, I felt like, you know,
That was it.
time up. That was it. because I've lost. I was doing stuff, and then I decided, you know what, I never go. I never face people. I never go out in the public. I used to be depressed. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to be isolated, and that is what that has done to me. And that was, I think, a lot of women can relate to that.
Yeah,
Maybe you're
yeah.
not out of it right
It's
now,
time to get out.
but it's time to get out
How
because
did you
it's
get
not
out?
what I'm leaving you with. It's not going to get better. Once he did it once, he's going to do it again. Stop giving second chances to these abusers.
But I'm happy that you got out, mustered the courage to really come out of that very poisonous relationship that could have, whether you like it or whether you were ready to face the truth, could have caused you your life.
Yeah.
And so my breakup, well, let me give you a little, So I started dating, like I had my first boyfriend at the age of 19, my real boyfriend. Right? It was like an entanglement. You know what I'm talking about, right? An entanglement. My first entanglement was at the age of 19. So my parents, very strict. At least they were strict then. And so I didn't really tell them about this boy because he was known, very, very popular. But when they found out about him, they didn't like him one bit because he was a frontline boy and they felt that this little church girl shouldn't be with a frontline boy. So I wanted to show them that I turned 19, I'm a big woman, and I could do things and I could make decisions for myself.
Yes.
Good. So my parents, they were very upset. In fact, I think I started getting licks or lashes at the age of 19 for that very individual. Anyways, 1 year passed, I managed to get a ring. My parents, they weren't very happy.
Get a ring.
But think about it. The boy, he was popular, yes, but at the time he had just gotten a job. It wasn't offering a huge salary. So I never really asked so much in this life, We used to go on the riverfront and I used to enjoy the little China and Malta. Right? I know you don't want pressure he pocket.
Right.
But we used to go like other places and so on. And one night on that very riverfront, Linden, I'm from Linden, and so Linden is divided by the Demerara River. And I resided on Mackenzie, and then there is Wismore, the river divides the town. So we, on the riverfront, and he was like, Svetlana, it's 1 year, 6 months, or I think it was like a year into this relationship, and your parents don't like me, so I think we might gotta break up. I said, well, we should break up now because my parents had never gonna like you, right?
At least you were honest.
No, seriously, I didn't know he was dating my parents. I thought he was dating me.
Right.
Anyways, so going into this 1 year, 6 months now, he came to me and he said, man, he wanted to buy this car. He wasn't poor, but like I said, he didn't have a job with a big salary. His parents, I think, are a bit wealthy. So he said he wanted to buy this car, right? I saved him a little money for go UG. He want to buy this car and university. And so I said, I can't take this money out of my bank, out of my account. He said, man, he got to get this processing fee. Anyways, the love.
That's some strong love.
I went and I gave him some money. I think it was like 20,000 or, because it was processing fee or $30,000. I can't remember the exact amount and I ain't able to lie. But I gave him that money because I felt that he needed it to go and start this processing and buy this car. And then I started seeing him less. For a reason, I'm thinking maybe it's my parents, we really can't date in public. Babs and I tied home. My girlfriend called me.
There's always that one.
Let me get a drink for that one.
She gets something for telling me. He was a nice person. But she was like, it had this girl came in the country the other day. I said, what happened to she? Well, is every night she get in churches? at your house.
And you
Well,
get in
church.
channel?
Why you make right? So I said, hey, she said they're there right now on Westmore. There's the other side of at Linden. So I said, okay. Well, I found my way down to Central Mackenzie. But while heading down to Mackenzie, the Central, I kept calling him. So I figured like he know that I was on to him. So by the time I got there, he was there. So I said, man, let's go to Westmore. He said, what are you going over Westmore for? I said, I get an accident. He said, I get no accident. I said, like you walking with the police or you just came from Westmore? He said, no. I said, all right, let's go. So when we reach over there now.
So he got the car already at this time?
No, he had his mother, I think, had a vehicle, right? Good. So he used to use that. They had vehicles, but like he wanted to buy another one. Anyways.
With your money.
Girl. So when we gone over the river now to Westmore, I said, well, tell, because, you know, I heard he was with this other one. So I said, Cameron, by we're partially living, so we can find out who is the woman. Because Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, I said, and I was going to see the whole family on the TV. So everybody know that we were together. So I said, oh,
The embarrassment.
you embarrassing me like no, right? But I said, no, well, I'm taking you back where I got you from. I said, well, peck me to your mother. Because I felt, you know, it's 1 year, 6 months, it's a serious relationship with him.
Right.
And he out here embarrassing me.
There's a mini marriage.
Right?
Plus you get a ring.
I tell
You don't
you.
share to nothing but the papers.
But, so I went to his mother and said, you know what? I love your son, but he doesn't deserve me. And you know, what am I doing next day?
Well,
Well, it was a Friday. And if you know,
Lots of things happen on Friday.
if you know Linden, on Central Mackenzie Avenue, the Republic, is everybody and the mother out on the road.
Yes.
Everybody. People
It
walk.
became hot in here.
They finish working at 3:30. So everybody heading home from work, they have the Friday afternoon line.
Riverfront line.
And I busy trying to do man in the street. There is the love of my life. I mean, yes, we broke up the night before, but he was having a serious entanglement in public.
He became the man in the street.
Man, hand in hand.
so by that time, what did you
The
do?
next day, well, thank God for Jesus. I had a lovely friend next to me, and she said, Sweetheart, you're not going to embarrass yourself in public. So she put me in the car. Thank God for Jesus. Right? But the husband part, he carried the girl Barrows. No, Barrows back then was a well-established restaurant. So imagine, I used to settle on the riverfront for Little Shadow and Malta. I mean, it's not because I didn't want to pressure his pocket.
You were considerate.
Very considerate. Well, y'all know, now your girl standards up.
Dean, I didn't take your one last
Let me tell you, but before I finish the story, one time, you think it's a big one in my mother's house? My mother beat me so bad. I said, Mommy, I'm moving out. I pack up my bundle with my little clothes. And my mother said, oh, you're a big one. More legs. I said, no, Mommy, I am moving out. I'm moving back in. I said,
Sister
Mommy,
Nelly for the win.
I said, Mommy, I'm moving back here. Let me tell you something. For young girls, I'm happy that I went back home. I didn't move out because I felt, now looking back, I think my parents were correct in their advice that maybe the person wasn't the one for me.
Right.
And home is always, your parents' home, always the best. Because trust me, if I had gone out there, I don't know who I would have gone to, what the conditions would have been like. So
And then he would have seen you as a vulnerable individual,
Yeah.
and then you would have had to take
So-
all the other entanglements that would have followed.
Exactly. So for me, I tell people, it makes sense you run away from your parents' home.
True.
Why go and make yourself uncomfortable? Because of somebody else who may not value you the way you should be. And from that relationship and other relationship, trust me, I've learned to really love who I am, value who I am. I don't set unrealistic high standards. but I have standards.
Right.
And it's not that, oh, because I settled for the little channel. There was more to the relationship. But you must learn to value who you are. You must be able to assess the individual, because apparently the little money, it wasn't for no care. Like I said, parents had care. It's supposed to buy the little dinner and stuff for the girl.
The girl.
You understand? Value you. If you're saving to go to university, don't let nobody distract you. I went to university anyhow. Guys, what about you?
Well, my story is not it's not as horrific as Colleen's one. It's not entertaining as Sweat Ladon. But it was something. So, I was about 21 and I met this young man, and he appears very nice, as they all do in the beginning. And, you know, we were very simple people, walking together. We were lovely pedestrians going our way, you know, making life. And, you know, as he got, yeah, no, I don't like walk, but I walking with him, right? Let me just clear the air. I don't like walk, but we used to walk.
She don't do walks.
No, I don't do walk. I don't like the sun, so clearly.
And she don't do sun.
Yeah, so him and I, we're going to go together. We both had our jobs. I was in nursing school at the time, training to become an RN. And he had his job. He was making money. And, you know, after a while working and saving his money, he decided that he was going to buy a car, which is very wonderful, you know.
Car story is very common.
You upgrade, you know. And I'm sure lots of people could relate to me. So he bought.
Finally, she gonna come out to the sun.
You know, right? I ain't got to be walking with the umbrella anymore, and I ain't got to be catching public transportation because boyfriend got the car. Anywho, boyfriend got the car, and I started to see him less, you know. And after this started to happen from time to time, I decided one day it's time we have a conversation to address this issue. So I picked up the phone and I called him and I said, I don't really like this thing that's happening, you know, I don't see you anymore, whatever. And he was like, let me tell you what I think. I think this thing ain't work, you know, and I think that we should move on. Now, if you know me, I'm not the girl that's going to cry. I ain't going to ever beg you. Those things are not in my book. So clearly I said, okay, sir, you have a wonderful afternoon. It was nice knowing you, and I wish you the best in life. And Latoya moved on her.
Look
But what hurt you?
The thing that hurt me is that after that incident, I discovered that he had another woman all the time. So that was the reason I was seeing him less.
It was an entanglement.
That was more than an entanglement. Because let me tell you what he did after. So after I found out about this girl, I also found out that she was pregnant for him.
Whole child.
Hence, that's why I saw him even less. But not only did she have a child for him, but I had always wanted to name my daughter Serenity. And this blasted young man gonna go name me daughter Serenity. Now,
He wicked to you.
Father forgive me, but you know, the prayer Serenity really keep me these years, because I know I really want to tell you is I name your child Natty. But you know, I can keep it together.
Well, no,
And you know,
Look on the bright side. You burned a lot of calories in those times. You didn't have to go to the gym. So, my breakup now. And they had a car, and I didn't eat cheddar and Malto. However, what I had was a surprise breakup. You could just anticipate, like, if you're supposed to get married, and you turn up at the hall, and you see it's a whole wedding. Well, I turned up, and it was a whole breakup. So this is in Linden. There's usually this big celebration called Linden Tongue Week. So I was at teachers college at that time. So he called me, oh, are you coming up for the tongue day? They used to call it the tongue day back then. I was like, no, man, I can't come up because, you know, I have to study, and it's usually around exam time. So I said I can't come up, but he sounded so disappointed when I said I wasn't going to go up.
So you decided to surprise him.
I just decided to surprise my homeboy. The time when you're at college, you get this thing called grants. It's like a stipend that you get when you're there. So my stipend was 7,000 Guyana dollars. If you should calculate that to US, it's like less than $50.
I think it's like $30.
Way less than $50.
Yeah.
Right, like $30. So I I spent out my little 7,000 now to buy up fancy clothes. Cause you know I got go up to Linda looking sick. Now when I show up, there is my boy. What he's supposed to be working at that time too, you know. My boy walking hand in hand with another girl, a whole girl, not piece. This was a whole girl. That wasn't the problem. Like the thing left me so shocked. I acted now like he was just my friend. So this is me. You good? And he was like, yeah, I good. You good? And I am still trying to figure out now what really happened. So I walk and then it hit home. So I stopped and I looked back and them and just walking side by side, you know, remember I said hands in hands. So when it hit home, I tried calling his phone. By that time, homeboy don't come off the road. Me surprised done just like that. Now, this was the first day for the tongue week. Well, I was so hurt and depressed. Lord knows I'm never like that again. I just jumped on the bus and I went back to college. All of me 7,000 clothes white by. Finished because me didn't even get to go no way.
But he spoke to you after, like to offer me.
Yes, he called like 3 days after. Well, I didn't even have to figure out what it mean. I don't know. So he called and he said, oh, I'm sorry it had to happen like this. But I didn't know. And I said, you don't know you get a relationship. Like,
These things happen.
it was like this relationship was a surprise.
He didn't know.
Maybe that he was together with a girl. Maybe he
So
just
she
thought
just
that
fell out the sky on that night.
he probably thought that she was cool and he was just
Or he
being a
didn't know
gentleman.
that you were going up to Linden.
Well, that he didn't know for sure that I was going to be in Linden. So, young ladies, these men, I don't
Take
even
time
know
to
what
know
to tell
people.
y'all about them.
Some men.
Because you just try to position yourself that certain things wouldn't happen to you, but somehow it just keeps coming back.
Yeah.
So my advice to you, like Lana said, value yourself, because I could have created a scene and I could have said like, what are you doing with my man and all of that. But I was above that standards. And I was happy to know that I was fortunate enough to be able to give my used toys to the less fortunate.
Oh! Wow! What a way to put it! Okay then.
You know, I can definitely relate to all of our stories. And unlike Chanelli, I wish I was fortunate enough to be as cool, calm, and collected when finding out about infidelity. But my story is a bit different, or a lot different. I think it was about a decade ago, 9 years ago. I can't remember. I was very young, 21, 22 perhaps. And this was like my first real relationship. And it was with an older man. He was 10 years my senior. So we were in love, at least so I thought. It was a very serious relationship. At least for me it was. And at that time I was in college. I was studying law at the time. So fast forward maybe about 2.5 years within the relationship, I found out that my beloved was cheating. Now, at that point, I didn't really know how to deal with my emotions that I was feeling. I just knew I felt anger and hurt. So my first thought at the time was revenge. And that's normal, right? Nonetheless, so I decided to put him on a website and put some provocative photos of him that I shouldn't have, of course. And it was a very, what kind of website was it? It was kind of like an escort type of website. And he was receiving like calls from, people, because I put his cell phone number on it and everything. Well, needless to say, that little stunt of mine got me arrested. Okay? But don't cry for me, Argentina. Don't cry just as yet. So I kind of want to share that arrest story with you guys. It was my first time, first and last, of course, being arrested. He managed to pull those strings to get me arrested because he had, I think his brother worked with the NYPD. So that's how that came along. And they came and they told me to come, and I walked into the precinct with my pearls. And, my personality, I'm a little dramatic and fun. So I walked in because I didn't think I was going to get arrested. I'm like, for what? For putting somebody on like a website? That was my thought process at the moment, right? So the officer was like, oh, yeah, we have to just book you for a few hours. I'm like, okay. So they took me and they started to take my mugshot. At that point, I realized that this is some serious shit. Like, oh my God, Shamisa, what the hell? And I'm bawling at this time because, I've never experienced something like this before. However, when it was time for them to take my photo, I was like, wait a minute. Just wait a minute. Let me wipe my tears because I'm not about to take a photo looking crazy. Like, we're not doing that. So they took my mugshot, and then they placed me in a cell with a few other women. And we were all there. I made a good friend. Her name is Julie. To this day, we're still really good friends. She was crying. I was crying because we had similar situations where the love of our lives put us in jail. But, it's our own actions. So we have to take responsibility. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, I'm crying. And the COO comes in, the guard, and they fed us. I think they gave us apples and cornflakes. So me being me, with my dramatic self, I was like, excuse me, do you have Cheerios? Because I don't like cornflakes. And the guard was like, I'm sorry, Hillary Banks, you missed the menu. And I'm like, oh my God, like, rude much? So one lesson, you don't have options in jail or prison or whatever, okay? You get what you get. Now I know. So I was in there for about, I want to say, a couple hours. Yeah, felt like a lifetime. I became closer to God more than ever before for those few hours in that cell. I prayed, I spoke in tongues more than ever before. So, and then at the time, my best friend at the time, it's a wonderful person, by the way, she was there, and she made sure, like, she was calling me on the phone because we could have used the phone within that cell, and she was making sure that I was okay. So I came out, saw the judge. My family was there. My aunt was there. I want to thank her so much for that because I was like so broken. Like, imagine having to deal with the devastation of finding out your fiance or your boyfriend is cheating on you, and then to add salt to that wound, they get you arrested. And nonetheless, thankfully, my case was completely tossed out because it wasn't much of a case, and I'm grateful for that. And my attorney at the time, she was awesome. So I'm very thankful that I got out of that situation the way I got out of it. You know what I mean? So I learned from that no matter what someone does to you and how badly they hurt you, you don't have to react in that way. You should still, react according to your morals and your integrity. I know it's hard, but I've learned a valid lesson from that. And to this day, if someone does me something, my first thought or my second thought is not revenge. It's just to walk away. Just walk away. Walk away with your dignity. And it's better for you in the long run, because if you try to dig a hole for that person, you will fall in yourself. Case in point. Okay. So yeah, no. And after that, we didn't speak at all. We don't speak at all. It's been years past. So if I were to deliver a message to him, I would like to say, from the bottom of my heart, carry your scut. And for those of you who don't know what that means, that is just a different word for many other things. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode of Sisters. And I hope that you will like, subscribe, and share this video. I hope you learned something. Tune in when you see that notification bell for new videos. And again, I'm Shamisa Dale, and see you next time, guys. Bye.